The all-new Kia Optima has just arrived on the Irish market and is off to a flying start already, having sold as many in this first month of 2016 than it did in all of last year put together. We were curious as to know why that is, so in this review we're going to have a look at the improvements that have been made not just in the design but also in the cabin, safety features, new technology and running costs. Already a great looking car, the subtle tweaks made to the exterior have made it even more striking. And the Optima has always been one of those cars that looks an awful lot more expensive than it is, when in actual fact it represents some of the best value for money on the market in terms of equipment, with a list of standard features that would rival some of its competitors' top spec models, with things like a half leather interior, sat-nav, 17-inch alloy wheels and a reversing camera, all included on the so-called base model EX that comes in at under €28,000. The volume model for the private buyer though is still expected to be this mid-spec platinum version, which adds 18-inch wheels, xenon headlamps, heated seats in both the front and the rear, which is something that you rarely see even in the premium class, and then 12-way memory adjustment on the driver's seat, which is really cool because it readjusts automatically to your driving position every time you sit in. The Platinum comes in at just under €31,500, and then you've got the GSE topping the range at €34,500. And that adds a larger 8-inch touchscreen display, a Harman Kardon sound system, keyless go and a panoramic glass sunroof, which looks absolutely stunning on the white model, I have to say. Okay, so inside the cabin where you're going to spend most of your time, it looks and feels much better in here too. It's all soft touch materials, lots and lots of buttons here to operate all that stuff I just mentioned. But once you find your way around it, it's pretty easy to navigate. Touchscreen's pretty simple to use, it's nice and quick, there's no lag. Sat-nav and a reversing camera there to make your life easier. And then the driving position is really good too, thanks to all that adjustment. So overall, I'd say a pretty pleasant place to be. Space-wise, it's enormous, with plenty of room for 5 large adults. This model is 25mm wider and 10mm longer than the previous one, and knee room in the back is pretty generous. It's not quite as good as the Skoda Superb, but good nonetheless. There's more storage up front to help keep things tidy, with good sized cup holders, central storage and wide door bins all around. The boot comes in at a respectable 510 litres. Now it's only available in saloon, so perhaps not quite as practical as some of its rivals which offer a hatchback option. But it does have a good wide aperture and a low load lip for taking things in and out. All models in the range are powered by the new and improved 1.7-litre CRDI diesel engine, now with 141 PS and an annual motor tax bill of just €190. Claim fuel economy is 4.2 litres per 100 kilometres or 67 mpg. And those figures are matched by the 7-speed automatic version that's also available in the Platinum spec. But more impressively still, thanks to a reduction in CO2 emissions to just 116 grams, the automatic now costs just €10 more to tax than the manual at €200 a year. The sound insulation in the cabin has been improved for a quieter drive, and along with the other improvements in quality makes for a pretty refined ride. It feels safe, smooth, comfortable, in other words your typical large saloon feel. It's not my favourite type of car to drive, so the biggest compliment I can give a car like this one is that it doesn't feel as big as it is on the road, and it really doesn't. The steering is light enough so that it's easy to manoeuvre, then the reversing camera and parking sensors make it that bit easier to live with the bulk but still enjoy the space. Always an important factor in this market is safety, and that's been improved too. It's got a full 5-star NCAP rating, and the addition of an extra airbag for the driver's knees brings the grand total to 7. It also seems to have been on a pretty good fitness plan because it's now lighter but 50% stronger than before, which of course is good news in the event of a crash. They've also added some new active safety features like lane departure warning and speed limit information. In a nutshell, the new Optima represents what most Kias do, which is a lot of car for the money. And with the improvements in quality this time round, as well as the amount of kit on board, not to mention that 7-year warranty to top it all off, it's sure to be another model that's going to be worrying the premium classes this year. If you want to see for yourself, you can find your local Kia dealer and now even book yourself a test drive on CarsIreland.ie.